The Paula Show is on. The Paula Show. Come on, one and all. I extend an invitation to the Paula Show. Join in the conversation. Transforming behavior, recognizing our Savior, overcoming burdens, achieving dreams. Together we can succeed.
Hi, good evening, everyone. We're cooking on the Paula Show tonight. And as well, we're speaking about entrepreneurship and the food industry. And I've invited Jellette, Bowen, Ralph to speak with us about these matters. The crash of the catering market has been fast and severe. Business was just horrible as a result of the coronavirus. There's a particular gentleman at a bakery in San Francisco, California, and he decided, let's make cookies and let's share loving and inspiring messages via the cookies. So you might be eating a cookie and wash your hands. Another one might say, don't touch your face. Another one might say, miss you. And another one might say, love you. Thank you for staying with us on the Paula Show. We'll return in a moment with the owner of Delicious Treats, Jellette, Bowen, Ralph. Thank you for staying with us on the Paula Show. Remember to watch the Paula Show via CTV Channel 2 on Tuesday nights at 9 and Sundays at 1 in the afternoon. The Paula Show inspires, entertains, and transforms behavior. Like me on Facebook as well, The Paula Show, and follow The Paula Show programs on YouTube at The Paula Show TV. Tonight, my guest is entrepreneur, caterer, and a woman who loves Jehovah, Jellette, Bowen, Ralph. The last time you were on the Paula Show, you were Jellette Bowen.
Bowen, yes.
Great things are happening.
A lot. 2020 was a beautiful year for me.
Got married.
Yes.
Most people would say 2020 wasn't a good year because of Corona.
Well, for me, it was a blessing.
It was a blessing, and it was blissful then, still
Yes,
blissful.
still is.
Good for you. I pray that you guys will celebrate many, many anniversaries together and create loving memories.
Thank
Not
you.
only in the kitchen. Not only in the kitchen, because I heard that hubby cooks very well.
Yes.
All right, so you're the owner of Delicious Treats. Delicious, delicious. What's going on there?
It's Jellette and Delicious. And so we have Delicious Treats. So a little bit of me preparing the food, and my food is delicious, so Delicious Treats.
Interesting. So tell me, what are some of the products that you produce in your kitchen? Because remember, tonight we're making cupcakes as well.
Yes, we are.
And I understand that we'll be making the frosting,
Frosting.
from scratch.
From scratch.
Listen, girl, I just go to Epicurean and I purchase it in the container and I swirl it on top.
No,
Okay.
I make my things from scratch.
Okay.
Everything is
Everything
from scratch.
is original at Delicious
Yes,
Treats.
at Delicious Treats.
Very good. So I will learn. I'm willing to learn.
Okay, I'll
All
teach
right.
you tonight.
Yes. So tell me, what are some of the treats that we're getting from
primarily
businesses?
at Delicious Treats, we focus on finger foods. We don't do much of the hot food catering as yet, even though we have in the past. We don't really push it, but finger foods. So we have the sandwiches, patties, meatball, sausage roll.
Saltfish cake? You
Yes,
said that?
saltfish cake, saltfish acras, yes. We do chicken fingers, fish fingers, and lentil meatballs is not just the beef meatballs.
So you cater to the vegetarian.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Cupcakes, cake, bread pudding. It's a wide variety of treats that we do at Delicious
Are
Treats.
you counting the calories? Are you
What?
counting our calories? Because when we consume all this, then, you know, it's going to be a problem for people like me. It's going in the hips.
As black people, we are thick people. So if you take a look at me,
I'm getting a lot of help
I
from you.
represent my business well, okay?
Delicious, delicious.
Yes.
Delicious Treats, doing well enough. Is this your first venture?
Me personally, yes. Delicious Treats is my baby from ground up. But I
Nice.
have entrepreneurship experience because I would have assisted my grandmother for many years in managing her real estate business. She had properties on rent. So I would have assisted her over the years. And even before that,
Yes.
I think I might have been a child laborer. Yes, I believe
In
I was a
what
child
way?
laborer.
Doing chores in the household?
No, my grandmother had a superette. And
Oh.
from age 3, I used to sit on her lap. Yes, so I learned how to count
Were
money.
you required to
make,
work at age 3 and older?
Yes, yes,
Child labor.
I was working in the shop.
Should we
She used
call
to
the
go
police?
well, no, don't call the police. You know, she used to go to funeral because my grandmother was big on attending funerals. So after
Oh, she
school,
passed?
yes,
Okay.
she has since passed 3.5
Okay.
years now. So when I got home from school in the afternoons, I would be in the shop with all my books laid out on the counter until closing time. Yeah, because she had to go to funerals and make other errands, purchase groceries. So I've been working
So
since.
you were her deputy, so
Yes.
to speak.
So I can retire now.
I'm saying, what are the skills you would have transferred from those businesses to catering, because they're all different?
Yes, they are, but some of the principles of business management can be transferred no matter what area you're in. So, for example, you cannot spend all the monies that you make. You must understand how to manage your expenses, how to maintain your profit levels, and of course, preparing for a rainy day. You have mentioned COVID. COVID was a hit to me in the very earlies because I would have had bookings for events. Persons would have deposited, some even paid in full. And because of the protocols where events were cancelled and you couldn't have gatherings beyond a
Don't
particular
tell
number,
me.
I had to offer refunds.
Oh, no.
Yes. So what if I didn't put aside for a rainy day? I still have my personal expenses to meet.
Yes.
So I was able to still service all of my expenses because I would have been saving over the years.
This dreaded disease,
Yes,
this
yes,
dreaded
yes,
pandemic.
COVID,
Anyway,
COVID.
we're getting over it. We're getting over it by the grace of Jehovah.
Right. And also you need to invest in your business. If
So
you
that's
take a
money
look-
management.
Money management.
And now
yes.
we're investing in the
Yes,
business.
you must
Okay.
reinvest in your business because one thing my grandmother would say is that you have to keep as real as possible with your business. So I take a look at my kitchen, and when I think back 5 years ago, the appliances that I have now, I did not have 5 years ago. My first mixer, which is still my baby for today, I remember
You have a lot
going
of
to-
babies.
Yes, a lot of babies.
Yes.
I remember going to Quartz Furnishings for about 2 years, dogging this KitchenAid stand mixer. And I would go and see the price was in 14 to 1600. And I'm like, I don't think I can afford this. And I, became friends with the sales rep there.
Yes.
And they were having a sale. And the price came down to $999. When I got the phone call, I told my boss, because I have a day job,
Yes.
I told my boss, I have an emergency. I need to leave right now. And girl, I went straight down to
bought
court
it?
and I bought that KitchenAid mixer. Yep.
Speaking about that KitchenAid mixer, I don't have a catering business and I don't cook commercially. But my mother heard me talking about my husband is my mixer when I'm making my pumpkin bread, banana bread, and zucchini bread. And she felt sorry for him. And she had an identical mixer. And she decided, I'm going to give you this mixer so poor Charlesworth can get a break. And girl, I place that in a barrel, and when I am baking, I no longer have to watch this and watch that. I just add and move on doing something else, and it works like a charm.
I'm still appalled that Charlesworth have to be.
That was years ago. That was years ago. That was a couple years ago. And girl, he made sure that every grain of sugar
was creamed into that
was
butter.
creamed into that butter. He did a good job. He did an excellent job. But
Just
no, no, I
KitchenAid
have
is
my
boss.
KitchenAid.
KitchenAid is boss. All right, so this evening we're going to make delicious vanilla cupcakes. Yes, with our homemade frosting. And we're going to turn the oven on. It's very important that our oven is preheated. You cannot slide these cupcakes into a cold oven. 2 seconds, and we're going to...
At what temperature?
350.
350. And
350.
they'll bake for about what, an hour and a half?
15 and a half minutes.
15 and a half
15
minutes
and a half
to make
minutes
cupcakes?
to make cupcakes.
Is that
15 baking
simple?
time. Baking time is 15 and a half minutes.
What?
All right. So our recipe this evening calls for 170 grams of butter. So pass me the blue band.
170 grams of butter, and
Yes.
this is what? 445 grams. So you just need some of that.
Some of it.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, you're measuring sugar.
250 grams of sugar. No, that's baking powder, Paula. No, 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 no.
Hey, listen, it's not my fault that everything looks white. I'm saying, but this looks like sugar, but then this also is white.
No, no,
Oh,
no.
right.
This
See,
sugar.
I'm going wrong already. Okay, so.
So it's 250.
But I usually use the measuring cup for
No,
that.
250. No, everything. The scale, good to go.
Oh boy.
All right, simple. And we're now going to take the bowl to the actual mixer. And we're going to start creaming.
You said no breakfast, no lunch, and cater by order. Do you cater for Barbudans as well?
Oh yes, Jellette Street is not just Antigua,
I
as
didn't
in the
think so.
island of Antigua. Yes, I do have clients from Barbuda.
Good for you.
So when they place their orders, I have to hustle down to the ferry for 6 o'clock in the morning, everything nicely
Seriously?
packaged. Yes.
6 in the morning?
6 in the morning.
You don't sleep, do you?
I sleep occasionally. I do.
Another question. Is this a team effort? Because it seems as if you're doing a bit.
Yes, I would say that I'm the chief cook. I'm not the bottle washer.
Oh, you don't do dishes?
I don't do dishes.
So who does
That's
dishes?
husband's job.
Oh, so you laughed at
Okay.
me earlier when I said, my dear audience, that my husband whipped every grain, every sugar grain from the batter. And now my mother has furnished me with a KitchenAid. So I no longer have to do that. Should we be asking Jellette of Jellicious Treats to get a commercial dishwasher so that your husband doesn't have to do dishes?
He enjoys washing the dishes. Yes, he
good
does.
guy.
So he takes care of the dishes. But depends on the size of my order. I do have some very good friends who have been with me from
Girlfriends?
day one. Girlfriends and guy friends too.
Guy friends too?
And guy friends too. Yes, they have been with me from day one.
Nice.
I can tell you, for example, my best friend, Ayana, she would say, Lord, the first time you make Johnny cake, then it could have bang dog because it was so hard. I mean, it took a while for me to learn the
real
recipe.
friend.
Yes.
Is that Ayana
Baptist? Yes.
Oh no, she's her father's child. That sounds like something Brother
Yes,
B would say.
that is so true. So, I mean, they have been with me from day one. So depending on the size of my order, they would work with me
So
overnight.
it's on a needs-be basis.
Yes, I have a dedicated driver, Uncle Easy.
Really?
Uncle Easy is our driver at Jellette Street.
Oh.
Yes, he is.
Oh, good for him.
Yes,
for
and
him.
another friend who I would have met through my husband, Jeremy. So whenever we're working, we're all branded in our T-shirts, Jellette Street,
Jellicious
so you know who
Streets.
we are.
Girl, this sounds like a really neat outfit.
Yes.
I like it. I like where we're going with this. Let me return to sleeping. It seems as if sometimes you spend an entire day in the kitchen.
Within the last few months, I have had to restructure Jellette Streets
Okay.
because I have a day job, and I cannot in any way have Jellette Streets have a negative impact on my performance at my day job.
Yes.
So I try my best not to overbook or have back-to-back orders to fill. But when I do my snack boxes, I am at work from 11:30 on a Thursday night until 7:30, my last delivery. So at 5 in the morning, I'm on the road delivering these
And
orders.
you get to work on
And
time
I
for
get
what
to work
time?
on
10
time
or
for-
11 or
for
12?
7:45.
What has been your single largest order?
Single largest order. A few years ago, there was a walkathon and a group contacted me, and we catered for 650. And
650
650 pre-packed snack boxes
from your kitchen?
from my kitchen.
Imagine what you do if you had a commercial kitchen.
Probably
You could do 6,000.
10,000.
I underestimated you.
10,000. Yeah, so I would have pushed 36 hours without sleep to the point of delivery, and I had other orders to service when I got back to the kitchen.
But when you were through, it was a day upon which you could rest.
Yes.
Just crash.
Yes, I was out, totally out.
Don't you do soups?
Yes, I do soup. Okay, so Jellette has contracts with corporate entities where we do meat and treats. And so our menu is not just the finger food. I'm talking the goat water. One of my best clients said, Jellette, your girl, this goat water, you're bad. So it's a staple on their menu. And yes, we do soup. We have the warmers so that in keeping with the protocols for food and health safety, so the foods are kept warm as required.
I love pumpkin soup. So whenever you're cooking pumpkin soup, I'd love to make an order. Love it, love it, love it. I think though sometimes it's too salt. I don't like salt in my food at all.
At all?
No, I don't like salt.
We use all the natural seasoning. I will accept your order for the pumpkin soup, but I don't do pumpkin soup.
You mean?
I taught this man how to make pumpkin soup, and he has perfected it. I cannot get my pumpkin soup when I prepare it to taste like his.
So you trained someone,
Yes.
and now the person is better than you are?
Better than me.
I don't know how that works. I think he knew how to cook pumpkin soup before.
But he didn't tell me anything?
He didn't tell you anything. And he just wanted to spend time with you in the
dear
kitchen
me.
so you can feel that, I'm teaching my husband something.
Okay.
I mean, come on now,
But
from
trust me.
2020 to now, and he's learned so well how to make pumpkin soup
Yes.
more than a veteran cook. Tell him I said to tell you the truth. He could cook pumpkin soup
When I go
before.
home tonight, I'll ask him.
All right. Given that you intend to expand, I hear that so far in the conversation. It shouldn't surprise me if over the next few, maybe years, months, I don't know, that you have a commercial kitchen.
Yes, it is something that Jellette has been praying about for maybe 2 to 3 years. Jellette Street has outgrown my home kitchen.
I would think so.
It has.
650
If you take a look at my kitchen, you'll see that it is ram-packed.
Well,
right
we're cooking
now.
there tonight.
Okay, so you will see the kitchen. So Jellette needs to move out. She needs to pack her stuff and get out of my kitchen and find her own space. So our dream is to be the primary caterer on Antigua and Barbuda. So we forecast that, let's say 5 years from now, we would have, small but workable, functional commercial kitchen.
I have worked in telecoms and it's a fierce industry and one has to try and stay ahead of the game, reinvent and recreate. And it was tough. Every day was a day when you would think, oh boy, some of my market share might be taken today, but I don't want that to happen. What am I going to do about it? And so if you're already putting the other caterers on notice for the next couple of years, it should give them an opportunity to up their game so that you don't catch them up.
Oh, they won't catch me up.
Ooh, confidence on set tonight on the Paula Show, and you know how it is. So it's confidence plus. Thank you for staying with us on the Paula Show. We'll be right back. Jellette Street placing the competitors on edge because she is coming fast and furious like a hurricane. We'll be right back. Stay with us, please.
All right, the recipe calls for 3 eggs.
This is a lot of ingredients for just simple
Cupcake.
cupcake.
Yes, a lot goes into it because we bake with love. We bake with love, so
So we have to separate each
so
egg.
no, so we're gonna take it one by one just to ensure that there are no bad eggs. So I'm gonna get you a bowl,
Oh boy.
and as I said, we're gonna crack them one by one.
Do I use this to crack it?
No, come on, Paula. Anybody be cracking egg with that?
Listen, I can't crack egg like that. It's going to spill.
3.
You want me to hit this here?
Yes.
Yay!
Nice.
I got it done.
And just
I don't
put
do
in the
stuff like
garbage.
this, you know.
So just toss that in the garbage,
Oh,
and
let me just put it here for now so we're not going back and forth. Put it, yeah.
and so our eggs would be the next thing up. While the mixture is still creaming, we're going to weigh our dry ingredients.
Dry. Let me tell
Dry
you what's dry.
ingredients.
This is flour. And dry is salt.
Yes,
Baking powder is dry.
baking powder.
Wait.
That's it.
That's it. Nothing
it
here.
for now.
Nothing else here is
That's it for
dry.
now. So we're gonna do 2 1/4. Now the correct thing is to level it off, but by now you can eyeball and determine what the weight is. So it's 2 1/4, and we're finished with the flour for now. Okay. Salt, 1 teaspoon. Salt brings the flavor. I've had an experience where I forgot the salt and I tasted the difference in the cupcake, so I don't forget my salt. And then the baking powder as the raisin agent, and we will do 3 teaspoons. 1, 2, 3.
Tonight we're speaking about cooking on the Paula Show. I'm going to be assessing your original frosting compared to my peeps at Epicurean.
Please do.
Yes, and you know Epicurean is a sponsor of the Paula Show,
Yes.
so you know that I have to be a little bit biased towards my peeps. So you better come real good.
I will be real good.
Of all the cakes that you generally make, which is the favorite to bake? Cheesecake?
No. I mean,
Chocolate
I like
cake?
doing cheesecake. I like doing the chocolates and the red velvets and the
Let me hear this.
amaretto and the coconut and the pumpkin cake. But vanilla cake, a plain cake,
Oh, Lord.
sponge cake.
I am so deflated.
Why?
Vanilla plain cake?
Yeah, just a plain cake. Just a plain
Where's the
cake.
sophistication? Where's the pizzazz?
It's just, I don't know, it's just me. All the Falderalder know, but just give me a delicious vanilla, a plain cake, good to go with that.
But I won a
It's heavenly.
cheesecake from your business several weeks ago. And I must say, it was made with love for the customers because it was almost sugarless. Tasty, mark you. But, you know, sometimes you're eating cheesecake and it's so sweet. Not only the cheesecake itself, but the topping. So it's like double sugar.
Sugar, yes.
And it
Too
makes me
sweet.
bilious. My stomach doesn't like sugar.
Too
But
sweet.
that one, girl, I took a small piece because my intention was to taste it so I can tell you, tastes good, tastes not so good. But girl, when I'm just saying, so I tasted it, but when I tasted it, I said, no,
And you went
I
back.
can't just take the edge of this triangle, so I had the entire slice. I know my husband loves cake, so I said, competition in the house with this cake. So it was really nice, and I
Thank you.
enjoyed the topping.
Thank you.
And I'm telling you, if you're diabetic, I'm not diabetic, but I hate sugar with a passion. But if you're diabetic, you can eat her cheesecake from
Yes.
Delicious Treats. It's really, really healthy and tasty.
Thank
I'm
you.
serious. All right. I envision by now that you're super skilled at project management. You have cakes, you have sausage rolls, you have saltfish cakes, you have all
Pizza
the...
drumettes.
Right, all of that. And you have a cake in the oven. Do you do beverages as well? Juice?
Yes, hubby does that. I have to boost up my hubby.
Oh, he does the juice?
He does the juices too. Yes, yes, the local juices. So whenever fruits are in season, we
Freeze?
capture as much as possible so that we can freeze.
Do you do mango juice?
Yes, mango, raspberry,
Passion
local
fruit?
lemonade.
So all this is happening in your kitchen.
In my kitchen.
Lots of activities.
Yes.
You therefore have to plan, what am I cooking first? What am I cooking second? What can be done simultaneously? That's a whole production, you know.
Yes, and as any caterer or baker would know, you don't really bake a cake today for today. Usually cakes are done in advance, and I'm
Okay.
not talking months ahead of time. Let's say maybe 36 to 48 hours before you would bake, ensure that they're cooled before you trim, and then you crumb coat, and you have to make that set, and then you put on the top coat and you
Oh,
decorate
boy,
it.
you're making me weary.
It takes time. It
Yes.
does take time. But a typical Thursday night into Friday morning for Delicious Treats, most of our pastries would be crimped ahead of time and placed on the fridge, because pastries are baked better when they're straight from the refrigerator, when they're chilled.
Oh, okay.
So those we would do ahead of
I think
time.
I remember hearing that from Mrs. Flax at the Antigua Girls High School.
Yes, Mrs. Flax. Mrs. Flax.
AGHS?
I know Miss Flax. Yes, Blue Rags. So the pastries would be prepped ahead of time, and they're placed on the refrigerator to chill. So anything from 11:30 on a Thursday night. If I have pizza, I make the dough from scratch. So it's not store-bought dough that I'm using. So I have to make the dough, set that to rise. Then I start flouring the drumettes, put on the pot with the oil, the fryer, and then start frying.
And this is you alone?
Me alone in the kitchen, me alone. And then maybe start working on the sandwiches. And then when the pizzas are out the oven, maybe the pastries go in, and that's how we do. So as what I normally
You might not
do,
have written it then, but there's a plan in your head.
in my mind, even
Yes.
if I don't write it, usually
Yes,
I would
yes.
record the steps so that I don't miss anything. But it's in my mind. I have it all worked out. I look at my order, I look at the quantities, and I determine what time I start working
Yes.
and what steps I take.
And I suppose you also have to factor in storage, food temperature, because you do not want your clients to become ill. So you
Right.
don't want to cook too far in advance.
Right. So we have our insulated bags, and we also have chafing pans.
Okay.
Yes, so that our foods are kept warm until we package and deliver. Yeah.
Before the pandemic, you had a greater demand for your products and services.
Yes, because we were having more events. We were
Yes.
out there. So schools were accepting outside food for children's
Okay.
birthday. Parents were having parties at home, weddings, etc. So I had a high demand. But when the pandemic struck, I had to reinvent Delicious Treats.
Well, listen, like I said before, this is coming to an end soon. So I suppose you have a plan for the future when things return to almost normal, because it won't be normal
It'll be the
again.
new normal.
It will be the new normal. You're prepared for that?
Yes, I am.
Very well.
To maintain precision with the cupcake, we use the ice cream scoop. You can grab one.
I thought you would just pour it out.
No, you can't just pour it out, because then all will end up all over. It's going to end up all over.
Cupcakes are different than regular cake. I suppose because regular cakes you have your
It's
pan,
just
your
one
large
pan,
pan.
just one
Yes,
pan.
yes, yes.
I'm going to do the first one. I'll pass me the next one. Just
Why
to
is
show
yours
you,
smaller?
just to show you how high. Now you don't want to fill this to the brim because it's going to rise and it's going to
Okay.
overflow.
You don't want
So we
to
want to
mess.
take it about two-thirds. About two-thirds. So I'm using a smaller scoop.
That's it?
No, some more for
In my case, I can use the whole
one.
scoop.
You can do one. Probably not. No, that's a bit too much. You're not gonna use all of that.
Oh boy.
So when you're releasing, don't release all.
Oh, okay. I
Don't
can
release
keep
all.
it in here, but don't
Don't
release
release
all.
all. Okay, that's
Okay.
good.
Oh my, I made a mess.
That's okay.
No,
We're having
let's get the
fun.
paper towel and
We're having fun.
I don't like.
It happens in the real world, in the real kitchen.
I know.
But yeah, we're not going to bake with that there. For sure.
So guys, this is the batter for the cupcake, and I have to pay attention because I might choose to pour all from the ice cream scoop into the liner, the cupcake liner, but I'm told only 2/3, okay? You said cooking might be in your genes.
Yes, yes. My father, now deceased, he was a chef. As a matter of fact, he was even a feature in the Antigua Little Bit of Paradise book. Yes.
Oh yes, I have one of those.
Yes. He worked at Miller's by the Sea.
Okay.
I remember him saying he worked at Victory Restaurant back in the 80s.
We had so many great restaurants in Antigua.
Yes.
There were restaurants on St. Mary Street. There were restaurants on Market Street. There were
Quite a few
restaurants,
eateries.
Brother B's and other restaurants on High Street. And even over on Long Street.
Yes.
And
there are a
now
few.
they're just about all gone.
Yep. Yes, they are.
We need to reinvent.
Yes, we do. So my
Yes.
father was a chef. My brother is a chef. He lives in Canada. And, well, I don't know if I'm a chef, but I cook well. But
Listen,
although
cooking is in the genes.
yes, although I was not raised by my father because my parents divorced when I was 3 years old.
Okay.
And so I was raised by my grandmother. She was a very good cook. I can tell you, my barbecue sauce tastes nothing like grandma's barbecue sauce.
And your barbecue sauce is good,
It's
I'm
good.
sure.
It's good, but
I don't know what what ingredients they use in the food, but I used to enjoy food then more than now.
more than now.
I'm serious. I can choose not to eat certain foods now, but back then,
Back then, yeah.
chop up and saltfish then
Different to
tasted
now.
far better than now. But you know what I realized? They use something called fat meat.
Oh, I know the fat meat.
And
know the fat
yes,
meat.
and the fat meat was fried,
Yes.
brown.
Yes.
And if you get
So
a
the
piece of the
flavor,
fat meat in
flavor.
your codfish or your chop up, boy, you're
flavor.
chewing on that and it tasted almost like chewing gum because it's a fried fat. I mean,
Fat meat.
I believe that gave some taste to the food back then.
Yes.
You mentioned about child labor earlier. Were you required to cook in the household growing up?
I wouldn't say it was a requirement, but my grandmother was a diabetic, and somewhere between maybe age 10 to 13, she used to have a series of blackouts.
Oh.
Many days I'd go home from school, and as soon as I turned the corner to go home, I realized that the shop is closed. And there might be a note on the door, grandma's rushed to the hospital, go by the neighbors, until somebody would come home to deal with my sister and I. So as I got into teen years and I started understanding the disease, diabetes, and she was still operating her superette.
And property management.
And everything else that she was doing.
So
she
she
was on
probably
church
wasn't
board
even-
and she was just a
Probably
busy
not
person.
eating well too.
But not eating on time. She was eating well, but not eating
on time.
time. So I decided, you know what, Grandma, tell you what, here's what I'm going to do. I'll get up in the mornings and I would prepare both breakfast and lunch before I go to school.
Seriously?
Before. So at
School was at
4:30
8.
Yes, I'm going to Antigua Girls High School. So at 4:30, I would get up and cook in the mornings before I
When
go
did
to
you
school.
study?
Well, after school when I'm in the shop, cashing people and all the books on the counter.
With all the distractions?
Yeah.
So I guess you have another skill. Crisis management and
Multitasking.
multitasking and that you can cope on the stressful
On the-
situations.
Yes, I can. Yes, I
So
can.
Grandma, after you started cooking and leaving the food, the fainting spells were reduced or
It was better managed.
It was
I
better
must
managed.
say. Better managed. Yes.
when your grandmother noticed that you were good at management and that you were a great cook at that young age, did she try to attach you with a business so that your skills could be developed?
Yes. Well, I grew up in the shop, so she didn't have
Okay.
to send me anywhere to learn that part of
That
business.
part of it. Mhm.
But my grandmother and Evanson's Catering, Mrs. Evanson, they were business partners.
Oh, she had the place
Yes.
locked down with
Yes.
catering.
So I remember 2 summer periods I would have been there during the summer vacation from school. I would have done a few weeks at Evanson's Catering.
As parents, we all have the same ideas, you know. We want to offer our children the best opportunities. And children need to realize that sometimes we parents, it's not because we want to cramp your style. It's not because we don't want you to have friends. But we know that if you have a solid foundation, it will be better for you in the future. And so we try to offer you all the opportunities so that you can grow into the person that we believe that you can become. A successful person, a person who can overcome all the odds
Yes.
and really do well in life.
Certainly.
What about the people who are living overseas? Are they into your treats? Do you have to export treats?
Yes, Jellette has exported treats. I've had clients who would request that I prepare and freeze pastry, and they would bake at their residence. And those who would tell me, okay, finish it, freeze it, and just put it in the toaster oven.
You preheated the oven, right?
Yes.
And it can go any place in the oven. First tray, second tray, or it
Usually
has
at
to
the
be
top.
at the top.
Yeah.
Hot air rises. I remember that from science in school. All right. So you say that we have to. Why are you getting your phone? You taking
Timer.
photos?
Timer.
Oh.
Timer. Because
30
even though I
minutes?
have 15 minutes
I
and
thought I saw 30 minutes there. Oh, okay.
so 15 minutes,
30 seconds.
30 seconds, and the
Exactly.
clock begins now. You need to combine and just dump in all.
Half. Another cup.
2 cups.
2 cups.
Yes, 2 cups. 2 cups.
2 cups. That's a cup. That's another cup.
Okay.
Half.
How about 2 teaspoons? I know all
2
it.
teaspoons. So you're not using all of this? Okay.
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 So just a dollop.
A dollop. Yes. It's more than a dollop, but it can work.
And you can put 1 drop. So,
One single drop. for
yeah,
this?
just one. Just
One drop for
Just
this?
1 drop. Just a drop. It's a bit thick, so you need to. Okay. Okay, so let's mix that and see how light that purple is.
This is nice, royal. But it looks pink.
You can add more.
No. This is nice. As old people would say, see, I'm service in the kitchen. They mean serviceable. You know, industrious. So they say, you service man. You remember that? You service man. This is a nice thing.
Yes, it is.
You spoke about a commercial kitchen. When this happens, you'll be adding more options to your menu, like hot meals maybe.
Certainly. We want to do some more in the sweet treats.
Okay.
We want to do the bakery where we can focus on cakes, puddings, and other sweet
Okay.
options. Yes.
When you say pudding, that's a pudding you boil on the stove?
That we want
Like
to
the
do
Christmas
too.
pudding?
Yes.
Oh boy. I I hope when you're labeling, you're noting the calories, right?
No, don't mind the calories. Don't.
Just go and walk or run
Go
or
up
swim
Scottsdale.
afterwards.
Go up Scottsdale.
Delivery truck, branding.
Yes,
I see that in the future.
Yes, I do.
What's
do.
the tagline? You must have a tagline.
Yes, delicious treats. We are delicious,
Oh boy.
affordable, and prompt.
Sounds like a good plan. But I'm curious, has a client requested a particular item, whether baked good, juice or otherwise, that you might not have made in the past, but you tried it nonetheless to satisfy the client's demand?
Yes. I remember the first customer with a eggless cupcake request. I had never done eggless cupcake or eggless nothing before. And so I didn't want to disappoint them. I didn't want to lose the client. So I said, yes, man, I'll sort you out. And trust me, for days, the amount of YouTube videos I watched to ensure that I know how to work out the ratio for the egg substitute, using the flaxseed, And trust me, it was the best eggless cupcake ever. And since then I've had other clients with similar requests.
For the eggless cake.
Eggless.
I'm going to share a recipe with you. Sometime in the past, I asked my husband, what do you want for your birthday, I think it was. And he said he wanted a chocolate cake. Well, girl, the norm is I would just go to Epicure and buy the chocolate cake. Ta-da! But then I felt the need to do something different. And I have a recipe book, and it has an eggless chocolate cake. And I made it. And I thought that I would have to use that chocolate mix. You know, the chocolate mix, liquid chocolate mix. But I used cocoa powder. To make the chocolate cake. And I'm saying, what's going on here?
That's what I used too, the cocoa powder.
Yeah. So I learned a thing or two. I did it once. He said it was very good. I tasted it because I followed the recipe to the T. But I have never felt inclined to repeat the recipe.
So about that eggless chocolate cake, it was flat or it was light and fluffy?
No, it was light and fluffy.
Okay,
it
just
was
check
nice.
it.
No, it was really nice. I surprised myself because it was uncharted waters. I did not try to, you know, throw in a little more baking soda, whatever.
You
I
stuck to the
followed
recipe.
it. Yes.
Okay.
I followed it like an
To the T.
exercise routine, and it was perfect.
Okay, just check
But all my life I've been baking with eggs. So that's a one-off. It's not something that I'll continue doing unless, of course, there are health issues in the family and you have to, you know, refrain from using eggs. But so far, we're good.
Okay.
Even today I had a boiled egg, so we're good. How old is your business?
We were officially registered in 2017, but we started pushing Jellette the year before.
Okay.
So that would make us going on 5.
Going on
towards
5.
the last quarter of 2016. So yeah.
So going on 5, and in the next 5 years, you intend to have your commercial space.
Yes.
All right. Well, the Paula Show is not going any place either. We intend to continue for as long as the Lord would have us. And if it is that we, you know, still producing this Paula Show in 5 years, we intend to invite you, and we expect to hear, ta-da, welcome to my commercial space.
Welcome.
Very well. What's your key message to entrepreneurs in any industry, in any market, in any segment, about how you should probably stay in the game? Whatever you want to say to them, it's your choice.
If you are passionate about what you do, you're not going to give up. You will not give up. If that passion is deep within you, you can work through the storms of life. Yes, the pandemic is here, and yes, we're all feeling the burden of having to go through this pandemic. And as young entrepreneurs, as sole traders, it is even more important for us to ensure that our business stay as relevant, we redevelop, we reinvent, so that if what we used to do pre-COVID is not workable now, we present something that our customers would want. We have to keep that attraction going. So if it means that you have to close for a month, sit down, study the market, and then come back with something better than what you had before, then do that. But don't give up.
Don't quit.
Do not quit.
I understand that totally, because we started with a live audience. The Paula Show is the first live audience TV talk show ever in Antigua and Barbuda. Yes, you were there with us.
From the very beginning.
Yes, and when COVID came, we recognized we had to change the business model because we don't want to be responsible for people coming to the show and becoming sick because they're in exposed, a space with so many other persons. And once we reinvented, we recognized as well how we could shave expenses by way of adopting another model. So sometimes you're forced into a corner, and then you can either retreat farther into that corner, or you can burst forth with new vigor and vitality, ready to face the world. And that's what I would offer to anyone who's watching tonight. Don't retreat, no surrender. You just make sure you bring new life to your business. Change your mindset. It will get you places.
Apply the pressure and then you gently move around.
Okay.
Angle up. You see? Yes! You see?
Yes, yes, yes! I made a flower! I made a flower! I made a flower!
That's a rosette.
So beautiful.
That is a rosette.
I'm ready for the cupcake. I'm ready for the big time. I'm ready for those TV shows coming out of America. These top chefs and all of that. I'm ready.
You're
Bring
ready.
me my cupcakes.
You're ready. You're ready.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
All
These
right.
cupcakes are sell-off.
All right. You say you're ready.
I have to do it on the open
So-
surface.
Yes, you're gonna cover it.
Okay.
You want me to do one and then?
No, no.
Okay,
I
okay,
want to
so-
do my thing. How's that?
Okay, we'll do another one. When you start in the center, keep it as tight as possible. Don't go round and round and round.
Okay.
So angle up, angle up, squeeze.
Nice. Thank you very much for staying with us on the Paula Show, and have a good evening. Goodbye.